So hello and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Saskia and I am a big fan of Barbie. Not necessarily the one that's coming out soon, because it has nothing to do with regular Barbie. That's just the Barbie character, that's not the Barbie, the BCU, the Barbie Cinematic Universe. Basically, I thought I would do a video on the evolution of Barbie movies, because we have gone from, the Nutcracker to Lost Birthday. And I wanted to discuss how that's happened, the changes in the animation style and how the studios the change in the studios, how Barbie herself as a character has evolved, how her other characters and sidekicks have evolved, plot, money, music, and then basically what I want to see, because I don't think it's a particularly hidden fact that I don't like the current Barbie movies and I don't think they're good. But I'm not just going to present you with an issue, I'm going to try and resolve it. So, we'll start with the animation studios. So in terms of animation studios, all Barbie movies have been pretty much made by the same one. They started with Mainframe Entertainment, they then rebranded and paired, and we've now got Rainmaker Entertainment. We then had Rainmaker Studios. I think the only movie that was made externally was Barbie Diaries, which is a very clear animation stylistic difference. So it's not necessarily that the newer movies are being made by a different animation studio and that's why they've got a different style. It is more so that they're just developing. When it was Rainmaker Entertainment, so this was from 2007 to 2016, we went from Mariposa to Video Game Hero. At some point in there is where it went wrong, because I would say the animation of To Secret Door up to Pearl Princess is good, is regular Barbie, is what you would expect from a Barbie movie. At some point it changed. I don't know if they've hired new animators, if they're trying to keep up with a new animation style, because here's the thing, I don't necessarily watch, that many animated movies, but when you have the classic style of Barbie, and it has worked, I'll look at the money in a minute, but it has worked, the animation style has been popular. My question is, why did we then go to this new style, which is not bringing in anywhere near as much money? Even if we kept the plots the same, I think the new animation style would not have been an effective swap. I'm all for, following the newer trends and crisping up the animation, but can't we just crisp up what we've already got? If you compare Pearl Princess, which Barbie's facially quite similar to how she was in Nutcracker or Princess and the Pauper, it's the same style but cleaner. Could we not have just kept doing that, making a cleaner version of the same Barbie? I did do a bit of reading on this, and basically they started out doing 2D drawings and all of that, and then they started using more 3D models, I guess. And basically what I found is that a lot of the people who worked on the movies like Rapunzel, those older 3D models were very, very hard to work with and animate. Dreamhouse Adventure completely changed the animation style, because if they were going to be putting out these episodes more frequently, they did not have the time to work with the difficult animation models. Here's the thing, another thing I read, apparently there's a big change in the animation staff and the complete program in 2008. Now 2008 is around, I think, is around Mariposa, which that again wasn't an issue. Did the new staff and the new programs try and bring in new ideas that didn't work? I don't know where the issue specifically came from. Basically, originally we had, one Barbie film every now and then, every few years. Barbie and Mattel then joined up to create Mattel is Barbie. Mattel and the animation studios joined up to create a 2-film-a-year policy. So they were trying to push out the movies, and this was in around 2005. This basically meant that they would be working on 2 films simultaneously. And I think at the beginning, it wasn't necessarily that much of an issue at the beginning. In 2005, we were still getting good movies. We were still on Magic of the Rainbow. It wasn't bad, but I think eventually it became overwhelmed and they couldn't keep going with that kind of thing. They stopped in 2017 to focus on the Dreamhouse Adventures TV show, which honestly they shouldn't have done. I don't know how well that did. I don't know if that brought in new fans, but I would have rather they just taken a pause and then come back with good films. There's also another thing of, basically, Barbie was trying to get the rights to do the Sleeping Beauty ballet, but Disney had claimed Aurora, like you couldn't use Aurora. So basically they then rush made the Three Musketeers. Hear me out, the Three Musketeers is a good story and a good animation style. So again, it's not that they didn't have the ability to make these films good or well animated in a rushed setting. So I don't know, and I cannot find out what specifically went wrong. Because I have done some research of like, if you look at the writers and the composers, and again, it's not that much of a shift. We have Elise Allen, who is absolute godsend writer. She wrote pretty much all of the good ones. I think she stopped at Mermaid Tale 2, which again, that kind of does make sense because that is where the movie started to go bad. However, why could they not find an adequate replacement? Obviously, like with the Barbie movies, the issue isn't just that the animation style isn't that great, or just, like, it's a combination of the animation style isn't great, characters aren't great, story is lacking. So animation style, I don't know where that went wrong. I don't know if that was just trying to keep up with the trends, but we can't, there's no real reason I can understand why it went wrong. Writing, I can understand. Elise Allen went off to do other things, and clearly no one was good enough to replace her because the stuff that she wrote was phenomenal. Like, they originated doing the stories of like transforming ballets into Barbie movies, and like, fine, gorgeous, incredible, but even like the original ones like Fairytopia, she wrote that off her own accord. She absolutely put her pussy into that script and into the writing of all of the Barbie movies that she did. Like, they clearly haven't been able to replace her very well. Similarly with like voice acting, Kelly Sheridan did most of the voice acting for Barbie. As much as voice acting kind of changes the final product, it doesn't change the concept. So like, as much as I think we now have America Young, who I don't have any qualms with, she does sound very, very like 14. And I know that Barbie is 14 or 16, but I'm a big Kelly Sheridan fan. But obviously that doesn't change the story or the plot. So it's not, like, there's only so much Kelly Sheridan can do if the plot and the animation style is lackluster. All she can do is the speaking bit, which again, where did the animation go wrong? If we look at like, we've now looked at like the studios and that kind of thing. If we look at the animation style, I would say up to about 2011, we had regular animation style. We stuck with the beginning. We did have the Barbie Diaries situation, but then we went back to regular and there was no issues. Perfect Christmas trialed the new animation. Perfect Christmas brought in Barbie's sisters, and it also trialed this new animation style, which when I was rewatching it, only then did I realise how bad it was. I didn't realise how hideous the Perfect Christmas animation is. Like, it's not the worst one, okay? Because in 2013, they then changed it and they did Ponytail. And I know I get a lot of hate for hating this movie. It's not a good movie. I will hold my hands up. I hate it. It's an opinion. But the animation style is absolutely hideous. That doesn't look like Barbie. It doesn't look like any of the characters. It's awful. None of them look like people. We went from like, what, Nutcracker, which was their first animation style, and had perhaps, you know, maybe wasn't the most technologically advanced. They got better technology and then they went and made Ponytail animation. Again, what was the thought process? How did we go from, you know, Perfect Christmas to Ponytail? Because Perfect Christmas was ugly, but it was no Ponytail. And clearly they knew Ponytail didn't work because they did that animation style once and then never again because it was awful. Because kind of, we then had from about 2013 onwards, they started with the new animation style. I would say from 2015 prior, most of the movies look like Princess and the Pauper HD. From 2015, we then had Princess Power, which I've spoken about Princess Power, don't like it as a movie. The concept could have worked. The animation style makes Cara, who is Barbie, look like she has had several rounds of Botox. She looks like she is botched. I do not know what went through their heads, because it doesn't look like a child, it doesn't look like a teen, doesn't look like an adult. They then did Rock and Royals, which they you know, they relaxed on the amount of Botox they had given Barbie. but the Barbie faces were still too clean and like round, I guess. I don't know if they were trying to make Barbie look more young by giving her a more round face, but I'm okay. I don't need to know. Like, I'm okay with Barbie never aging. Like, I'm okay with Barbie never, her face not changing from what it was in like Nutcracker. I don't care about that. I don't want her to start looking younger or older. Just leave her how she was. Then had, so kind of 2016, I think they then settled on they were going to go from the animation style from Princess Power and Rock and Royals, but tighten it up. And I don't despise it, okay? They had Spy Squad and Starlight Adventure, which is not the most disgusting thing. I enjoy Starlight Adventure as a movie. I think it absolutely slaps. And the animation style is not so horrific, but it's not the classic. I can't get behind, like, if we're looking at Spy Squad, I don't think I can get behind the Barbie in that movie being a fairy princess. It doesn't feel like they could do that, if that makes sense. We then had 2016, we had Barbie Puppy Chase, which they just kind of tightened up the animation, but we then had animals, and the animation style for the new animals was not good. Like, as much as you might say like, oh, Wolfie and Seraphina don't look great, they don't really look like animals, they look a lot better than the puppies in Puppy Chase. The puppies in Puppy Chase, I think what happened, it looks like they started to make Barbie look a lot more like the doll. Like, as in, when you would buy the doll for like Island Princess, it didn't look like the princess from Island Princess at all. I was okay with that. I didn't really care as long as she was wearing the dress. I was buying it for the dress. Now, like, the animals look like dolls. They look like you could take it out of the screen and it is a doll. You could take Starlight Adventure out of the screen and have that as a doll. I don't like that. I don't want, but because the thing is, I don't think people really buy Barbie dolls that much anymore. Like,
dark, pretty much can't see me, but editing's actually coming in to say I was wrong. People do buy Barbie dolls now. Don't know why it is. A lot of research said it's because the dolls are more diverse. But what I was trying to get at is I think people don't buy Barbie dolls from the movies anymore. Like, more people just play with Barbie dolls for the sake of having Barbie dolls. Like, a lot of people I know, even from like when I was a child, had Barbie dolls, but for the sake of having a Barbie doll, not because they had watched the movie and thought, I want the doll. Whereas back in the day, it was much more of a, oh my god, I just saw the dress on Roe, I want the Roe dress. Now it's kind of like a, I want a Barbie doll for the sake of having a Barbie doll, not for the sake of a movie.
it used to be a thing, and again, didn't research this, but has it gone downhill because of the style of animation changing? Like, I would have happily bought a regular Barbie doll that looked the same as all the other Barbie dolls, and then just bought the new dresses. I was in it for the dresses, for the fashion, for the wings, the accessories. I don't want new styles of the same doll. I just want things I can add on to that doll. Then we had Video Game Hero mostly used the same kind of style as Spy Squad, but it did trial like the multiple animation style, which they haven't done since because, I don't know, it kind of hurt my eyes. It wasn't for me, but I don't know if that's just me not appreciating the art of it. Because again, what they did is the animation styles, they had the dolls that came exactly as the animation style Barbie came. I don't like that. I don't think most people do. Like, if I was to buy a Barbie doll, it would be from the original movies. Even if I preferred the plot of the new ones, the Barbie dolls from the original movie look so much better. The dresses were better, the outfits were better. They looked more like people. I know that a Barbie doll is a Barbie doll, you're not supposed to look at it and go, wow, that's a person. But the new ones do look entirely like you've just taken them out of the movie and they're just a plastic thing. We then had kind of 2017 Dolphin Magic. Again, I don't hate the animation style because what they were doing is kind of just sharpening up the images.
I am lying, this is ugly.
From, I'd say from 2015 to 2017, they had the same animation style, but it just got sharper. Again, not the most awful animation style, but then what they did is they had Lost Birthday and Mermaid Power, where as much as I would say it's a similar animation style, I don't think anyone looks the same. I think the characters look 5. I could not tell you how old any of the characters are supposed to be because all of them look... Honestly, Barbie looks like the oldest she could be is 15, which then means that Skipper is 13 or something. And it doesn't work. I don't know how or why they did that. I've not watched the recent Skipper babysitting drama adventure because I don't care. I don't want to watch it. But they basically just kept youngifying everyone. Like, I would say there's two distinct animation styles. We've got from 2001 to 2014. That's the good one. And then from 2014 to onwards, which they've kind of done. 2001, they came up with an animation style and started sharpening it and then stopped. Because you might say like, even like Fairy Secret looks different to Princess and the Pauper. Same faces though, it's just a sharper style. I would have been happy with Fairy Secret but sharper continuing onwards. I don't know why we had such a shift because it doesn't look good. The characters' faces are becoming more babyish, childlike. They just get big eyes and they look 5. Because what they're trying to do is a lot of the plots are now more about Barbie being a real person, but I would say she looks more like a doll. So I know Barbie movies aren't meant to be realistic, it's not meant to have realism in it, but they're trying to sell us on the fact that Barbie is this real person and this is like the Barbie world and she's a vlogger, but she doesn't look like a person. She looks like a piece of plastic. Like, I know she's a doll, but I don't believe it, I don't like it, and it doesn't look good. I would say they've changed the animation style and they've hit the point of no return. You know, they've spent 10 years on this new animation style. They can't exactly go back and think, oh God, yeah, we should change it. They've kind of got to keep going, but it's bad. Like, if they're going to carry on with it, that at least they finally fix the hair, because Barbie hair used to look awful. And like, you now actually have strands of hair, but all of the faces look like the characters are about 5. If they're going to carry on with it, I don't care what ages they're claiming the characters are. They need to look older than 5. Put a bit of contour on them, give them a jawline. Like, isn't it like 2 or 4 of them are supposed to have hit puberty? Making it look like they have. Like, I'm not talking about widen their hips and giving them tits. Make their faces not look 3. Like, I don't know who the target demographic is for current Barbie movies. Maybe like under 10s, but like logically an under 10 knows that Barbie is older than 10 and knows that Skipper is older than 10, would be okay with them looking older than 10. Because in the recent Mermaid Power one, all of the sisters look the same and they also disgustingly skinny. Like, I know that the Barbie movies have never had a Barbie that's not skinny. The recent Barbie movies is they've just got a pencil and put a wig on it. It's not good. Yeah, like, animation style, I don't know what went wrong, but I know where it went wrong. And as much as they can't go back to that original animation style, I would say to fix it, we need to sharpen up the images. It needs to look less soft. I know Barbie's supposed to be like a soft, nice thing, but Barbie needs jaw, Barbie needs contour. The characters need to look different ages. I can't look at those 4 pictures, and I know they're different ages, but I can't look at them and know how old they're supposed to be. Like, the little one in Mermaid Power who has a special tail, I can absolutely not tell you how old she's supposed to be because her voice, I would say she's maybe 15, but then she's also kind of the same size as Chelsea, who's the friend, who's 5? She can't be 5. Like, Chelsea to me is maybe between, maybe 8 to 10. That character cannot be 8. That's not how an 8-year-old talks or looks. Again, the voices should semi-match up. I know you obviously need to have dialogue and stuff, but the voices should probably semi-match up with the fucking age of the character. Like, I don't care, Barbie, you can voice act her as someone who's 40, not my problem. But if you've got a 6-year-old or an 8-year-old, don't voice act them by someone who's 18. Unless they're going to put on the accent and the voice of an 8-year-old. Because, again, I know Barbie's not about realism, but give me some kind of realism. Because if we then look at like Barbie herself, they are giving Barbie a lot more roles. She used to just be a princess, a fairy, or a mermaid. That was kind of her thing, or like a peasant who becomes a princess if we were going crazy, and sometimes a bit of ballet. But like, she kind of had 4 or 5 categories you could slot her into. She's now doing a lot more. She now is, you know, a vlogger. A lot more. She's a vlogger. She wants to do musical theatre, doesn't she? she's now more of a sister. And as much as Barbie was always a sister, she was a sister in TV show. That's fine. Put her as a sister in TV show, not in the movies. Or like have her telling the story to her sisters. If you want to incorporate sisters, we used to have Barbie telling the story to Kelly, have Barbie tell the story to her sisters, and then you've incorporated them without making them a character. Like, Barbie is now doing a lot more things, a lot more modern roles. And like, I don't like it. Because as much as, you know, in Fairy Secret, Barbie's just Barbie, but we have fairies. In Fashion Fairy Tale, Barbie's just Barbie, but we have fairies. Like, they kind of went back to it in Pearl Princess. Pearl Princess, we have a mermaid, and I enjoyed that because it was just underwater Rapunzel, essentially. And then they kind of went, no. Because even when we have, even when we have Princess Adventure, that Princess Barbie is not a princess to me because it's a modern princess. It's a princess who decides she wants to be a bloody vlogger. To me, we need a princess. She was wearing a casual dress, she's barely a princess. If you're gonna do a princess, do a princess. It's like when they did Pearl Princess, that mermaid is a mermaid. Whereas when they did Princess Adventure, that princess is not really a princess. Like if they wanted to highlight on the contrast of Barbie vlogger, Amelia princess, Barbie they did as a vlogger, Amelia they barely did as a princess. She's pretty much just an average girl who happens to wear a crown. Which like, no. Like even when we did Princess Charm School, Barbie is an average girl who realises she's a princess. And it's not just a regular princess, she's a fancy dress princess who's learning in princess school. She's doing princess related things. Like if you're going to use the concept of a fairy, you have to really go for the concept of a fairy. Like in Fairy Secret, if they had just had wings and that was it, that was the fairy adventure, that was the fairy vibe of it, they didn't go to fairyland, I wouldn't care. That's not a fairy, that's a girl wearing wings. Like Mermaid Tail, Malia putting on a tail, fine with me because the world around her is actually made of mermaids. It's actually mermaid places. Like Barbie, they're trying to make more modern, and I'll talk about it more in my solution, but I would like to keep it separate. I would be happy to have Barbie as her vlogger on YouTube and TV, Barbie as a princess and a fairy in movies. Like I would happily wait longer for movies if you want to focus on this TV stuff, if we're going to get Barbie as a real princess, because I don't want to watch regular Barbie doing regular things. If I wanted to watch a vlogger doing something, I would go on YouTube and watch a vlog. If I want to watch a princess doing something, I'm thinking Barbie, there's no alternative. Whereas Barbie is basically just going into a saturated market of vloggers, whereas I'd rather watch a real vlogger. Because she'll be like, oh my god, watch me go shopping. Okay, I'll find a Target vlog on YouTube and watch that instead because it's actually good. Like, I don't want realistic Barbie when we have the real world. Like, the character has changed a lot. And like, there are times it's not bad. We have like Three Musketeers where we kind of have princessy vibes, but she's also kind of just a regular girl. But because we're in a good environment, like a lot of the modern movies are obviously in modern settings and it's boring. Like, I don't go to a Barbie movie to watch a vlogger where I could watch a real vlogger, or watch someone walking around town when I could look at a real town. Like, they did a good blend of it in Princess and the Pop Star, because the princess is a real princess, and the pop star, I'm okay with her being a pop star because it's not like, it's a less attainable thing, I guess. It's a less realistic thing. Not everyone can just go and be a pop star, whereas anyone could pick up a camera and start vlogging. Like, at least in Princess and the Pop Star, you have two good, strong concepts that they've actually gone all out for. If we look at like the characters and the sidekicks, in the beginning, Barbie movies were kind of about like the friends you make along the way, or like, as much as it might have been about like love or whatever, it was actually about Barbie realizing her own strengths, so she didn't really need a friend. All the journey was about making friends on the way. We would then have Barbie going into the movie with a friend. Have like Fairytopia, she doesn't necessarily go into the movie with a friend, but like in Mermaidia, you have two characters, but still a main character. In like 12 Dancing Princesses, you have lots of characters, but one main character. Mermaid Tale, lots of characters, one main character. What they then started to do was have multiple main characters. Like Rock and Royals, we have 2 main characters, and it's not that one is more important than the other. We've got 2, and I don't particularly care for either one because I don't know if Barbie movies are getting shorter or if they're just worse at managing their time, but it doesn't feel like I get to know anything about those characters. Like in Princess Charm School, yes, they've all got superficial characteristics, but I could tell you we've got football, we've got music, and then we've got Mean Girl. They've got something. In Rock and Royals, there's less characters, and I still couldn't tell you anything about them other than we've got Royal and Rock. That's all I've got going. Like Spy Squad, again, as much as we've got Barbie, we now kind of care about her 2 friends, which, like, if Barbie had gone into that as an individual and then put into a team of spies, I would have preferred that because, again, we're going back to the roots of making friends along the way. Like, I feel like Barbie movies were always about making friends or, like, realising what your friends can give you and, like, unlocking your true potential, whereas now there's too many characters. Like, they're not necessarily doing as much of it now, but especially when they started to do Barbie with her sisters, yes, Barbie's the main character, but like Mermaid Power, each sister got her own little plot line. And unless I knew from watching other Barbie things the personality traits of these Barbies, I don't know anything about them other than Chelsea's the young one. That's pretty much all you get from it, because you get no personality. They don't have time to flesh out a personality, and they don't seem too interested in trying to create one. Like, there's too much. I liked when we had Barbie goes into the movie alone and makes friends along the way, like Swan Lake style, even Rapunzel, where she's kind of got a couple of sidekicks, because each one had some kind of personality. I don't know if it's just easier because they're animals, but again, they talk, so they're pretty much just extras. They're pretty much humans. Princess Charm School was good again. We had Barbie as the main character and some extras, whereas now I don't know if they're trying to have, like, as much as Barbie is still maybe the main character, she's the main character less, and that we now have more emphasis on the sisters and the sisters existing as a group. Like Dolphin Magic, yes, Barbie was the main one with Isla. Barbie was in charge, but the sisters were still there, doing things that were kind of irrelevant. We just need to go back to having Barbie and friend. Like, Big City Big Dreams actually did this quite well. We had Barbie and Barbie, and I did learn something about them, and that was fine. Whereas, like Lost Birthday, I didn't really care that we were following 2 storylines, because the 2 storylines didn't really feel that connected. I know they were, whereas like in Princess and the Pauper, the 2 storylines are the same storyline pretty much. Princess and the Pop Star, same storyline. Like, they felt too separated and not actually like the same storyline, even though technically they were. Like, I think resolution in terms of sidekicks, resolution in terms of like side characters, I guess, is just have Barbie and have a couple of side friends, or have Barbie and friend, or Barbie and makes friends along the way. I don't need to go into something with multiple characters. And basically, I hate Barbie sisters, and I've made a whole video about this, but they do absolutely ruin the movies. Like, if we then look at like animal sidekicks, that was a good way to get the sidekicks in, because they're not, as much as they're an animal that can talk, you can kind of just put them in the background. They don't have to be like heavily involved in a plot. They're just kind of there for comic relief. You've got like Otto, I think his name's Otto. He just moans in the corner. He's just there. Like, we had fun animal characters who, yeah, were probably there so you could make dolls out of them and make toys. I don't care, I enjoyed them. Like Bibble, does he add anything to the plot? No, not particularly. But he's absolutely incredible. He's the best character to come from the Barbie cinematic universe. In what they started to do is, I don't know why, but when they did like Barbie, Mariposa and the Fairy Princess, Barbie and Mariposa each had her own things. I didn't care about them. They were kind of cute, but I didn't really care. Whereas like Bibble absolutely popped off. And I don't think that's necessarily just like a nostalgia thing, because I did kind of like in Starlight Adventure, I kind of liked her cat. Was it a cat? It was an animal that like became a cat, which I still don't really understand what was going on. Was it a popcorn and it popped? It popped? I'm not too sure. But like, we used to have kind of a lot of small animal sidekicks just kind of around, or like an evil animal. I miss evil animals. Like, I know Barbie movies are all really predictable and, you know, you look at them and you can see the evil Barbie villain face, but like, I liked having a little evil animal in there because as well, you can sell more dolls. But because again, we don't really have real evil villains, we don't have evil animals. Like, they've kind of all just gone. We don't really have animals because all of the animals now kind of just talk, but they also talk to serve as a plot device. Whereas like if you took the animals out of Rapunzel, there's not really that much that changes, I don't think. There's a bit with like the dragon that might change, but they're just, something about the execution of the animals isn't working. They're not doing it right. The animals are useless. I hate that the puppies talk. I know I'm a fan of the talking animals normally, but the puppies all sound so annoying. Like, and also because they talk, they become their own plot almost. I'm okay with the animals existing as a side piece to a main plot, but the puppies almost having their own plot, and like there's camera time where you kind of just have puppies talking. I don't care. I thought it was Barbie's movie, not the puppies movie. Character design again is pretty boring, pretty bland. They do just, look, I don't hate that they just kind of reuse the same two sidekicks in every other movie, but flesh them out a bit, or have one of them. You don't have to have two. You could have two friends, not three friends. I don't really know why we've had three a lot of the time. Like, Diamond Castle worked perfectly with two people. Why in like Spy Squad did we have, why in Spy Squad did we have three? Did we need three? Again, Barbie and her sisters are ruining it because we now have too many characters. I've not necessarily organised this video in the right way because we're now going on to the plot, which probably should have been done before. But basically, there's kind of different eras. From 2001 to 2009, we have the classics. They were using old fairy tales, old ballets, they were going off princesses, they were basing it off of something. Yes, there were some in there that weren't based off anything, but they tended to all have some kind of base concept, and they kind of still had fairies, princesses. That was the kind of general gist. If you went in one of those movies, there'd be magic. 2009 to 2015 is more of a modern era. We had not really anything based off of stories. We still had some princesses. We now started to get mermaids. We weren't really that heavy on the mermaids before, we just had Nori. Whereas we now start to have like mermaid-based movies. Again, movies were going fine, I was still a big fan. The issue is 2015 onwards, Barbie's a vlogger. 2015 onwards is we've lost the fun princess escapism plot, and we've instead gone for Barbie's a vlogger and she's gonna do this. Barbie can do anything. Like, it feels less like it has a story, less like it has a moral statement. Like, this is the thing I'm gonna mention is this is a very, very small detail, but basically the old movies used to pretty much have their own quotes at the beginning or the end, and it would be something about like making friends along the way, and it would be a summary of the story, like the take-home message, because they used to have take-home messages. Barbie then became this is our story, what's yours? No. Is it because there's no take-home message in your movie? Yes. Give me a take-home message. Like, give me a quote about making friends. Give me a quote about unlocking your potential. Like, the real world movies feel like they don't have any kind of moral element. It doesn't feel like there's a deeper meaning, and I know that it's a Barbie movie. Like, we're not going to get that much of a deeper meaning for a movie made for 5-year-olds, but give me something, even if it's just like appreciate your friends. It wouldn't be that hard to like just put an end quote of appreciate your friends and then make the movie a bit more about appreciating your friends. Because even like the Barbie sisters ones, the plot is never really about realising that your sisters are not stupid. And even if it is, I don't really care for them because all the sisters are annoying, and I'm never like, wow, I'm glad that they've solved that problem as a group together, because that was really getting stressful. Like, I don't care. Whereas Barbie and the 12 Dancing Princesses, there's 12 of them, and it doesn't get annoying. Because each one kind of ends up being useful to some extent, or they're just a nice background character to look at, and therefore they're not annoying, because they're either a useful character, we've got Lacey though, she's really annoying, I hate Lacey, or a background dancing person. I'm fine with that. And like even Lacey, as much as Lacey's a little bit annoying, it opens up the plot device of the magic healing water. The characters being annoying in other movies doesn't really open anything up. It's just a, God, sisters are so annoying sometimes. Like, is that the moral message of the story, is God, sisters suck? Because that's all I'm getting from most of these movies is, wow, Barbie's the best, all of her sisters are below her and they all suck. All seem to kind of go on their own like side quest in mermaid power, but I don't, again, it might be because it's such a forgettable movie, but I don't really remember it being worth it, because all Chelsea does gets kidnapped, slay. Barbie, don't really know. Skipper's flirting with this man who I thought was a lot older than her. And then I don't know what Stacey's doing, but, oh, is Stacey get kidnapped? Chelsea, Stacey? I don't bloody know, because again, it was boring. I watched that movie like 3 times to make a video on it, and still couldn't really tell you anything about it, because again, there was no plot. There was, like, I don't know if the plot point was don't litter, because they also were going for the plot point of like, uncover your own potential. It was like a disability allegory as well, and like, there's too many stories. Can we not just have like a sisters coming together can save the day? Because then maybe like don't make the monster trash, or maybe just make it about, oh, everyone is special and unique, and then don't really make it about sisters, but we then got the disabled mermaid. Like, pick one. I think the key theme is what I've noticed is that Barbie's trying to do too much. They're trying to make Barbie less boring, less two-dimensional, but I don't care if she is literally just a princess and her only personality trait is that she's a princess. That's fine. I'm not watching Barbie movies to see sisters bicker or to see them fighting a litter monster. I'm watching Barbie movies to see princesses and fairies, and I'm not getting them. And like, I don't necessarily know if, here's another thing, as we look at the money, I don't necessarily know if animated movies have just not been getting much money kind of as time goes on. But Barbie movies used to get a lot of money, like in the teens of millions, and now they don't get shit. The first flop movie was Christmas Carol. It got them nowhere near what they were expecting. And then Mariposa Fairy Princess. Mariposa Fairy Princess, I think for me, pretty much the end of the era. That's pretty much the end of Barbie for me. That was their last flop before everything became a flop. Like, since 2013, they've been going, pretty much every movie grosses under 10 million. Some of them now get about 2 million. Like, I know it's not all about the money, but they're making nothing from these movies. These movies are not earning the money. Like, and I know that Barbie is for the younger demographic, but there's a lot of us little neurodivergent girlies who would absolutely eat up your movies if you change them. You would get all of us back to your movies if they were good, but you don't. Like, the views have also gone massively downhill, because the thing is, Barbie movies were never in cinemas. Like, Barbie movies have always been straight to DVD, and like going straight to Netflix isn't necessarily hugely different, but still, no one's watching it. Like, the views used to be about 200,000 people would watch it, they're now getting 25,000 maximum. No one is watching Barbie movies and they are earning no money. Surely that's a sign that they need to fix up. Like, I don't know which movie necessarily earned them the most, but it was absolutely guaranteed before 2015. Like, the movies are not getting watched. They're not being advertised. I don't necessarily know much about Barbie advertising, because obviously I was 5 when these Barbie movies were coming out, but like, I would still get them. So clearly whatever they were advertising was working because I was buying them. But now, I don't see anything about Barbie movies, and I'm a Barbie movie watcher, so like, Google knows my preferences and that kind of thing. Like, you'd think I would have seen something. I only see adverts when I go on the Barbie movie wiki. Where is the advertising? Like, I know maybe they've not got that much money to spend on it, but even just like go on the Barbie Twitter account and go, Slay Girls got a new movie coming out, I'd go, Slay, I'm gonna like that and watch it now. Like, there's just not really anything. And again, that's probably, maybe they don't have enough money, no one wants to watch it anyway, and the audience is now kind of changing. But again, it's a big contributing of lots of different things ruining the movies. We will then look at the music. So, Barbie movies used to be either a musical or they would have absolutely girl boss slay music. Like when they did classical music, I got into classical music because of that. I now actively enjoy listening to classical music. A lot of the classical music I listen to is Tchaikovsky because of Barbie. Like, they either had slay ballet music with slay ballet routines, absolutely love it when Barbie dances, or they had musicals. Now, I know musicals are not like realistic. Barbie just bursts into song and I'm like, slay. I prefer that. I want Barbie to just burst into song. Like when they did Rock and Roll, it was like the singing was, as much as it's kind of bursting into song, it felt less real because they were singers. Like they were meant to be singing, that's kind of their job. Whereas in the Barbie musicals, like Princess and the Pauper, phenomenal. Like some of the best movies don't have music. Like we've got Mermaidia, there's no songs, apart from when Bibble sings, but like, and like Rapunzel, there's just kind of the theme, but it's still slapped. Like the music isn't necessarily what makes it, we obviously need plot first, but adding good songs would save a lot of face. We've lost the key theme in Barbie movies. Barbie movies have nothing going for them now. Like there was either a quote or a character or something significant that stuck with you. There is nothing of the sort. Like Mermaid Power, all I can think of is the trash and the disabled mermaid. That's not a theme to me, that's not a fun magical item. Like we lost the fun when we lost the magic. Like let's be honest, even Dolphin Magic had some sort of magic, but it's not magic, you know? I want magic back. Like if we look at what do I actually want to see, what do I want Barbie to do? They won't, but this is what I would like. I want princesses and fairies. I want to go back to the roots. I'm happy to follow Barbie and her sisters in a TV show or a YouTube series or vlogs. The movies, I want princesses, I want fairies, I want mermaids. Or oldie woldy stuff, like just in an olden city. I don't want phones to have existed. Like, I want to go back, if there are any more ballets they could adapt, if there are any more fun fairy stories, like Thumbelina. I didn't like that film, but it had fairies. It was an adaptation that I didn't hate. Like, I also think we need to hire better writers. We lost Elise Allen, she stopped working for them, in Princess and the Pop Star, or after Princess and the Pop Star. Things went to shit. We need a better writer, we need a better writing team. Because even if the animation style was shit, if the writing is good and the plot is good, I'm watching it. Like as much as there are small things like adding songs would probably draw me in more, if the plot's not there, I'm not watching, so you need to have good writers. We need good writers. From that, I will watch it even if the animation style is not good, because the writers can come up with good characters. It has to be fun. Like, people watch Barbie movies for escapism and for fun. I'm not watching Barbie movies for realism. If I want realism, I will watch a TV show where someone is a vlogger, because I don't really care. It's not like I care for the Barbie character. Like, she's just a person. It means pretty much nothing to me. But I want the fairies and the fun of Barbie movies. Like, Barbie used to be fun. It used to have really cute backgrounds, really cute songs, really cute pets, really cute characters. None of it's fun anymore. Even like Mermaid Power, I didn't like their outfits. They were trying too hard to be fun, I guess. Like, fun doesn't necessarily just mean loud songs and pink outfits. Like, fun can just be a little bit of ballet, a nice dress, a nice theme tune. Like, Barbie's trying too hard to make the movies fun, and the movies are not coming out as fun because they're trying too hard for it. Like, we need to go back. We need a writer, step one. We need that writer to write something about princesses, fairies, or mermaids. We need to go back to the animation style from Fairy Secret and before. We need characters to be fleshed out and have less of them. We need animal sidekicks that are fun, not the puppies. And then we either need a musical or like a classic theme song that plays in the background. Even if it's just classical music, go and get the rights for some kind of classical music thing, put it in, and we'll absolutely eat that up. Like, none of us even care either if there's princes. I don't care about Barbie being a feminist, okay? If Barbie wants to get a boy, get a boy. But it can't just be a boy that's there. Like in Princess Charm School, she just gets this random guy who like kind of flirts with her. Who the fuck was that man? Like, when Barbie was getting a boy at the end of it, I didn't really care. Because again, the Barbie movies had a message. I wasn't like, oh god, well that takes away from it. Barbie just loves men. I was like, oh, that's fun. She got a man at the end of it. Nice for her. Whereas now I'm like, well, she gets nothing at the end of anything. Like, because again, there's no plot. She doesn't get a reward at the end of it. She just keeps her friend because she normally makes problems with them. Like, Barbie needs to simplify, relax, and hire a whole new team of writers. Like, I can't think of a good plot that Barbie could do, but again, I'm not a writer. Hire a writer, hire a set of a creative team, and get them to fix this shit. So, that's my video on the evolution of Barbie and how we're gonna fix it, because Barbie has evolved a lot and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, going from Nutcracker to Fairy Secret, that wasn't necessarily bad evolution, it was evolution, and I enjoyed it. But we need to make the evolution better. We're just evolving a bit too much. Why don't we just let natural selection do its thing and cut out some of the bad movies, and then we only make good ones. So I've got a lot of Barbie YouTube videos. I will put them in the cards if you want to watch them, but I just want Barbie to be better. I love Barbie. It's a massive passion of mine. It's a big special interest, and I've lost interest in it because it's not good anymore. And that's really sad, because I remember when I was like 4, sitting and watching Barbie on like a tiny little screen, or watching Diamond Castle, and now I don't want to watch any of these new ones, and therefore I will not watch any of these new ones. Also, just to finish up, if you have any different opinions to me, that doesn't mean you can be mean to me. I get a lot of comments being like, shut up, you're old. Okay, so what? So what if I'm old and I don't like that Barbie movie? I like a lot of Barbie movies, just not the new ones. That's not really a me problem. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will film more Barbie videos at some point, but it will be a little while because I'm just not in the mood. The interest is not, it's not being sparked, the creative passion, the juices are not flowing.